live now. How are you all doing? A splendid morning indeed it is to us all. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my Facebook family. Good morning, YouTube. We're going live on Instagram in a moment. Okay, just trying to cross-check. Everything is fine. Fantastic. So let's add Instagram to the fun, and then we move. All right, good morning, everyone, and may Yahweh's blessings be upon you. As once again, we teach a very, very deep topic today. Yep. Okay, I think it's better here. Yeah, so it won't show. Okay, so let's go. Hit it, Instagram. You guys are coming live now. It's quite clear on YouTube this morning. Oh no, Instagram's not ready. What's going on? I'll have to do this again. Instagram can be very annoying sometimes. Okay. All right. So I think it's loading now. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's sermon. It's a deep scriptural sermon that affects our everyday lives, and it has to do with Nigeria as a whole. The title is Russian Roulette. And may God bless you as you listen. May God uplift you, and may his name be glorified. Let us start with a prayer. Father, I thank you for the gift of another day, because indeed it is a gift. There are many people who would have loved to be alive today, but for one reason or the other, they couldn't make it. There are many people who can't afford what to eat, let alone the data to listen. But Father, you have helped us. And on behalf of those who are struggling, we ask for your mercy, your protection, and your provision. And for us who are gathered here, may your words ring in our hearts. May the laws you have written in our hearts start to bear fruit under the wonderful grace of your word. In Yahushua's name I pray. Good morning, everyone. Today the title of my message is Russian Roulette. What is Russian roulette? Let's just go by a normal definition. What's a Russian roulette? Now, this is a very dangerous game, and it consists of loading one bullet into a chamber of a revolver, then spinning the cylinder, and then pulling the trigger while pointing the gun at your head. It's one of the most dangerous games ever. If you are lucky and you pull the trigger when the bullet is not lodged in the slot, you get to live. If you are not lucky, it all ends. Now I want to ask you a question. Would you play Russian roulette? Would you play Russian roulette? If I say, hey, let's play a game. I got a revolver. Let's play some Russian roulette. Would you play Russian roulette? No. What about you online listening? Esther Omori. Would you play Russian roulette? Someone said on YouTube, the Mrs. G, not for all the money in the world. Esther Omori on Instagram said it's a dangerous one. I can't play that. A lot of people say, no, play it. Let me break your heart this morning. If you live in Nigeria, every single day you step out of your house and get into your car or walk to the bus stop, you play Russian roulette. You have a community, a country where the police doesn't work. I was looking at my friend and brother M6 who went to Ibadan. I cannot dare go on that Lagos-Ibadan expressway where some people can just jump out of the bush in the middle of nowhere. I have a friend who was robbed there. And people take this normally. You will never play Russian roulette, yet your lives, if you fall sick in Nigeria, is Russian roulette. If you have an accident in Nigeria, abroad, they will use helicopter to come and pick the victim. I've seen it before. I don't live abroad, but for the few times I've visited abroad, I've seen a helicopter land on a highway to pick up a victim. In Nigeria, that same accident, now Russian roulette. Our schools, another Russian roulette. And the biggest of all, religion. Many of you who don't play Russian roulette don't live in Nigeria. If you live in Nigeria, you are playing it every day. You see, I studied sociology in the university. I have a BSc in sociology. And there's no way you will study sociology and you will not study the likes of Sigmund Freud. You will not study the likes of Karl Marx. And when I was in school, I was a sheeple. I used to hate Karl Marx because of his criticism of religion. I believe religion was this spiritual affair that you have with God. Only for me to grow up and realize that religion has been society's greatest problem. Karl Marx is noted for this quote. He said, all criticism begin with the criticism of religion. You are wasting your time if you think you can criticize the government. You are wasting your time if you think you can criticize the government. If you think you can criticize the educational sector. If you think you could criticize or critique any aspect of your lives without first addressing religion. Somebody in my comment section is saying, you know, go church. That's right there. That's your Russian roulette. Poor man is walking around the country without anything in his head. If he thinks you go to church, his head is empty. They have already even played Russian roulette with him. Spiritual Russian roulette. That's the one they played with him. All criticisms begin with the criticism of religion, because at the center of the tsunami, you will find religion. What is Boko Haram again? You will find it there. Karl Marx is also famous for saying this quote: Religious suffering is, at the one time and the same time, the expression of real suffering and a protest against real suffering. This is what you call a Schrodinger's cat paradigm. This is what you call cognitive dissonance. How can religion be criticizing and fighting oppression, and at the same time it is oppression? How can it criticize and fight suffering when it in itself induces suffering? Oh, I'll take you somewhere this morning. He said religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. And he went on to say, the abolition of religion as the illusory happiness. Karl Marx referred to religion as the illusory happiness, meaning you have a happiness that is not real. If you live in Canada or Germany or the USA, you could buy a Ferrari. I know people who live in the UK but are Romanians and they drive their Ferraris from the UK to Romania. I know somebody in Nigeria who has a Ferrari, cannot drive it from Lagos to Ibadan. He has to truck it. I also have a very low car. From the port to my house, I had to truck it. Abi? It had to arrive on a truck. In this Nigeria, Lagos to Lagos, Lagos to Ibadan, and we are not playing Russian roulette. I'll take this a little further. Karl Marx said the abolition of religion as the illusory happiness of the people is the demand for their real happiness. To abolish religion as the illusion of happiness, you must demand real happiness. You need a road that works, helicopters that can arrive at accidents, hospitals that are functioning, schools that are working. You have all these in non-religious societies, but in our society, you pray for all these things. He said, to abolish religion as the illusion of happiness of the people is the demand of their real happiness. To call on them to give up their illusions about their conditions is to call on them to give up a condition that it demands illusion. To give up your illusions about your condition, because you walk around in Nigeria and you think you're blessed, meanwhile every day you play Russian roulette. You are deluded into believing that you're blessed. Meanwhile, the reality is you're gambling with your life every single day. So religion gives you that illusion, gives you that comfort. I know many religious people, dedicated religious people, who are suffering today. And he goes on to say, for them to give up their illusions about their conditions, you must remove conditions that require illusions. If you need to pray for your car to get home safely from the port, then you have a condition that warrants illusions. If you need to pray, you see, Nigerian Christians are, forgive me, some of the most deluded people I know. In reality, there are things you don't need to pray for. And Christ said them, he said, these things dominate the hearts of the unbelievers. Believe that your Father has already done it. In the UK, God has already done road. God has already done school. You don't need to pay school fees. The government has taken care of it. In Nigeria, before the beginning of every semester, you begin prayer crusade so you can raise school fees. You begin looking for who to dupe. You begin looking for how to defraud somebody. Somebody unintentionally pays 2 million naira into your account. You think it's a blessing from God and you go and spend it. Your condition requires an illusion, and religion is there steady providing the illusion. And you have pastors who are merchants of illusions. They climb their pulpits every single Sunday and sell you an illusion. You pay for it in installments. You pay for it weekly. You pay for it with your entire salary at the beginning of the year, and then you think you're okay. Look at someone beside you and tell them you have a condition that warrants illusions. To give up this illusion, or this illusion, yes, I'm correct, means you have to give up the conditions. As long as religion is this powerful in Nigeria, and we are the second most prayerful nation, second only to Afghanistan, we will continue needing illusions. Walk with me, somebody. As long as religion continues holding us like this, we will continue needing illusions. Because the conditions that necessitate illusions are not going to go anywhere. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to this morning. Karl Marx goes on to say, the criticism of religion is therefore in embryo the criticism of the veil of tears, which religion is the halo. Go with me to the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 17. I'm reading from the NIV and the NLT for balance. In the same way, faith by itself, if not accompanied by action, is dead. The New Living Translation says, so you see, faith by itself isn't enough. Unless it produces good deeds, it is dead and useless. Your conditions warrant illusions. Your faith is dead and useless until you get up and change your conditions that warrant illusions. I'll go a little further. It is dangerous to pray without action. It's a clear case of Russian roulette that you play every day in Nigeria. You don't have a good police force. If Amroba come to your house, now Russian roulette. You don't have good public schools. Picking where you know educate. In Nigeria, it's the opposite. The children we refuse to raise are going to sell our country, not just our houses. And they've started. You have no hospitals. And you're praying. Within the last 4 months, I personally know 5 people who are diagnosed with cancer. In the whole of Nigeria, there are only 2 clinics that offer radiotherapy. One in Abuja that they are not sure is working, that is government owned, and one in Lagos that is private owned. In one whole country. Meanwhile, in the United States of America, there are 70 centers that offer radiotherapy for dogs and other pets. A dog with cancer has a better chance to live in the United States of America than a man with cancer in Nigeria. The 5 people I know are all from Port Harcourt. That black suit that they have, that they've not done anything about, They're all praying about it. Meanwhile, the whole of Port Harcourt, the whole of Rivers State does not have a facility for radiotherapy, but they have the biggest church in the world that they are building according to reports and rumors. They have the biggest, according to rumors, they are currently building the biggest church in the world in a state that does not have facility for radiotherapy. In America, there are 70 facilities for dogs. In Nigeria, there are only 2 for human beings, none for dog. Dog get cancer. It don't go since. Only you go call your brother from where they chop dog for Nigeria, say, Baba, I get suya for you. I'm going to preach you a storm today. They don't want you to hear the storm I'm preaching, so they go after my character. I've called them to come and debate. Come and they will never show up. It is how to malign my character they'll be looking for up and down. And let me tell you something. You can't shut me up. Continue spreading your lies and your half-truths and your misinformation. I come here every Sunday and I'll preach you the truth. Leave the petty scatter. Come and carry your Bible, I carry my Bible. The 2 of us sit down. Let's preach this Bible. Let's look at the congregation in the face. Let's look up to God together and speak and see whether they will listen to you. You know why they are afraid of debate? You know why? They don't want to lose their millions. Because when it comes to the word of God and the truth and reality of what we're going through, I will nail them to a wall with the scriptures. They will not even know where to get it from. They should come with all their assistants and their scholars. And someone said to me, what business is it for the church to build hospitals? And I reminded him, if you live in the United States of America, I'm sure you've heard of the Presbyterian Church. I'm sure you've heard. I'm sure you've heard of the Presbyterian Hospital. That was started by the church and is now run by the government. Maybe we should even read a little bit about the Presbyterian Hospital. There's one in New York. Here's what Wikipedia has to say about the one in New York. The New York Presbyterian Hospital is a non-profit hospital that is non-profit. Your church is profit organization, but your hospital is It's an academic medical center in New York, affiliated by 2 Ivy League medical schools, Columbia University and Wells Cornell Medicine. It is composed of 2 distinct medical centers, Columbia University Ewing Medical Center and Weill Cornell Medical Center. As of 2020, the hospital was ranked as the 4th best hospital in the United States and the 1st in New York metropolitan area by U.S. Weekly News and World Report. The New York Presbyterian Hospital, a hospital that is non-profit, a hospital that was built by the church, is the 4th best in the whole of America and the best in its own area. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to today. But I think your pastor needs to hear this message. James chapter 3 verse 16, read this with me. For wherever, I'm reading the New Living Translation, for wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and evil of every kind. Wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition. It is a selfish ambition to build the biggest church in Nigeria where we don't have hospitals. I go back to Karl Marx, who did a better job than King James. Karl Marx said, in the criticism of everything, first you criticize religion. Because religion does not follow the scriptures. It follows the ideas of men. Mark chapter 7, verse 7. It is to me, in my humble opinion, the dream or the ambition to build the biggest church in the world in a country that has no hospitals. It is selfish ambition. This is why they hate me. This is why they go out and try to attack me. Attack my message. Come and show me that it is not selfish ambition. They have nothing to show. I saw a post and I reposted it on my Instagram handle. It says 25 prisons were closed in Holland because no criminals to fill them. And the person put a little note on there. He said, righteousness exalts a nation, not churches and the mosques filled with thieves. 25 prisons have been closed in Holland since 2014. Meanwhile, our prisons in the religious capital of the world, second when it comes to prayer, only to Afghanistan. Look at our prisons full. Go with me again to James chapter 2 and verse 20. How foolish! Can't you see that faith without good deeds is useless? How foolish. Can you not see that faith without good deeds is totally useless? We preach faith. Where are the good deeds? I'm asking you, where are the good deeds to balance off our plenty faith? And if you were to read this in the original Greek language, the New Testament was first written in Greek. And you were to read this in the original Greek language, it says, Kene hoti hepistus choreston egron argestin. Foolish, that faith apart from works, worthless is. Look at someone beside you and tell them, wake up from your foolish faith. I didn't say, the Bible did. Even the original scriptures correspond. Wake up from your foolish faiths. Wake up, silly people. Wake up from your foolish faiths. Your worthless faiths, your senseless faiths. Wake up this morning. Kene hote hepistis choriston egron agrestin. Foolish faith that is apart from works, worthless it is. Wake up from your worthless, foolish faiths. Since 2014, about 25 prisons have been shut in Holland, or as you like to know, the Netherlands. And they've been turned into temporary asylum centers. They've been turned into housing. They've been turned into hotels. Holland has Europe's third lowest incarceration rate at 54.4 per 100,000, meaning for every 100,000 people, you have less than 55 inmates. According to the Justice Ministry's WODC Research and Documentary Center, or Documentation Center, I beg your pardon, the number of prison sentences fell from 42,000 in 2008 to 31,000 in 2018, along with a two-thirds drop in jail terms for young offenders. Registered crimes plummeted by 40% in the same period. Crimes dropped by 40%, meaning if there were 10 people stealing, there are only 6 people stealing now. Are crimes dropping in Nigeria increasing? Foolish faith people, Russian roulette players. I greet you this morning. No? Somebody said this man is stupid. Oh yes, this message is very stupid, because for you to drop to my level of stupidity means you have to upgrade your software that is running your brain so you can understand what I'm preaching and relate it to your reality. I'll take you somewhere today, and when I give you these statistics, I dare you to bring your pastor to come and counter it. Let them live my personal life, because I avoid their own. Their own no good. Nobody personal life good, but I avoid their own. Let us live personal life and come and face doctrinal issues. You don't confront doctrinal issues with personal life. But that's what you do when you have nothing to say, really. Telling Nigerians how to pray and be wealthy. Meanwhile, the wealthiest person on earth does not believe in God. What's his name? Does not believe in religion. What's his name? Jeff Bezos took over from Elon Musk. Elon Musk took over again from. They are people that do not carry religion on their head. They are competing first and second in the class. Meanwhile, Unade last. Let's talk a little bit more about the Netherlands, because a lot of people now come and say that the freeze is not just about people going to prison. That's how you know a country is blessed. All right, let's look at other factors. According to Wikipedia, the Netherlands is one of the least religious countries in Europe, after the Czech Republic and Estonia. The Czech Republic is the least religious country in Europe, followed by Estonia, then followed by the Netherlands. But the gross domestic product, or the GDP of Netherlands, as of 2019 was 907.1 billion. 907.1 billion gross domestic product. What is the gross domestic product for Nigeria with 10 churches on every street? For Nigeria, where one church has 35,000 plus branches, what's the gross domestic product? 448.1 billion in the same time frame. We have less than half of their GDP with all our religion. What's their population? As of 2019, their population was about 17.28 million. During the same time frame, our population was 205 thereabout million. So a country that has less than 10% of our population has more than double our GDP. Who is blessed, us or them? Foolish faith people. Who is blessed? They have 10%. You know what? Lagos has more than 17 million citizens. So a country with fewer people than Lagos has double the money of Nigeria. And you think you are blessed? You see, your condition requires illusion. That's why you don't have sense. Condition, you require illusion. When they will continue to trick you. Be there looking for that the freeze fault up and down. Don't go and fix what you need to fix. How can a country with less than the population of Lagos have more than double the GDP of Nigeria? And that country is there. Should they not have all the churches in the world? That country does not have the biggest church in the world. Let's even talk about their wealthy. As of today, the Netherlands has 38 billionaires. Nigeria has 3. The richest of all the billionaires is not even Christian. So we cannot even say he pays tithe. When are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up and see your reality? Hallelujah. Some people say it's not about money now. It's not just about money and prison. It's okay because they have fewer prisoners. Okay, because they have more money and they are wealthier than us. It's not just that. I said, okay, let's face other factors. What is the life expectancy rate of a Nigerian in Nigeria? 54.3 years. The life expectancy rate of a Nigerian is 54.3 years. What is the life expectancy rate of someone in the Netherlands? 81.81 years. So even when it comes to living a long, fulfilled life, they're better than we are. So where are we better than them? Is it safety? Do you think in the Netherlands somebody will go to a school and take 300 pupils? Do you think so? Do you think so? Up until now, you are shouting at what happened at the toll gate. Do you think in Netherlands we will not know who gave the order? I'm asking you. Religious people, foolish faith. Ẹ káàárọ̀, mo kí yín o. Your condition warrants an illusion. Your condition warrants an illusion. Because there is no logical hope. So what you run to are illusions. Go with me to the book of Acts chapter 4. I'm reading from verse 32. All the believers were united in heart and mind. They felt that what they owned was not their own, so they shared what they had. The apostles testified powerfully to the resurrection of the Lord Yahushua, and God's grace blessing was upon them all. There were no needy people among them, because those who owned land or houses would sell them and bring the money to the apostles to give to those in need. That was how the believers' organization worked. Those who had took care of those who didn't have. In Nigeria, even pastors that have do not take care of their congregations that don't have. Let alone believers. Believers is far. I'll take you a little further. Matthew chapter 19 verse 21, Yahushua told him, if you want to be perfect, go and sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me. Go and take care of your poor. Only you are balling, flying that jet, living in that mansion, with that fat bank account. And yet you're surrounded by the poor. Go with me to the book of Acts, chapter 2, and verse 45. This is the third scripture I want to read to support my stance. Let them read their own. Acts chapter 2, verse 44, then I'll read 45. And all the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions, and they shared the money with those in need. It was emphasized in Acts chapter 2 and emphasized again in Acts chapter 4. They sold what they had to take care of those who were in need. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, we take from those who are in need, and then we flaunt the wealth back to them. I'm not in any way saying a pastor or a church does not need to be funded, but not with tithe, not with first fruit, and not by the poor. Go with me to 2 Corinthians chapter 8. 2 2 Corinthians chapter 8. I want to read from verse 12. Whatever you give is acceptable if you give it eagerly, and give according to what you have, not what you don't have. How did you miss this in the scriptures? Give according to what you have, not what you don't have. Meaning the poor are not supposed to give. You know, sometimes all these Bible translations, they can sabi lie. That's why I don't trust any Bible translation. So what does it say in the original Greek version? It says, "Katho en eche, and prodikos o katho o eche." If he might have acceptable, not as not he does have. How did we get to a church system where those who do not have give eagerly and they are blessed? Their condition warrants an illusion. Say it. Their condition, if you don't have and you're giving to a church to be blessed, your condition warrants the illusion they are giving you. You are where you are supposed to be. Nothing can help you. That illusion is the only thing that is working for you. Look at someone beside you and tell them your illusion is working for you. When you say you pay tithe and you are blessed, and then Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos don't pay tithe and they are the richest in the world, then your condition warrants that illusion that tithe is the one providing money for you. Your condition is what warrants 5 churches to 10 churches on every street. 2 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 12. Whatever you give is acceptable if you give eagerly, and give according to what you have, not what you don't have. Of course, I don't mean your giving should make life easy for others and hard for yourself. Maybe we should read this in Greek. Aren't you people tired of these things that the phrase is showing you that you have never seen before? Your giving should not make life easy for anyone while making life hard for you. How can you be riding Okada and you are contributing to somebody's mansion? Come and argue with Daddy Freeze. Come and debate this scripture. It's a lie. You'll go and be talking about what Daddy Freeze did and what he did not do in his personal life. Come and argue this. If you agree to a forum, I'll bring 3 Free Nation members against the whole Nigerian pastors. All of you come and sit down. I challenge all of you. All of you sit down. We sit down, you sit down. You go talk your own, we go talk our own. Whether half of the churches for this country no go close after that debate. Still on 2 Corinthians chapter 8. I'm reading again from verse 12 for those of you who are missing this. Whatever you give is acceptable if you give eagerly. First of all, for you to give, you have to give eagerly. I'm reading from the New Living Translation. And according to what you have, not what you don't have. If you can't eat. The Muslims understand this. Before, I was reading a story based on a hadith that somebody went to give. I think it was one of the friends. I'm not an authority on Islam, please forgive me. And he asked him, he wanted to give alms. He said, have you taken care of yourself? He said, yeah. Your family? Yes. Have you taken care of your extended family? Say yes. Have you taken care of your neighborhood, people around you, nobody is suffering? Say yes. Okay, then you can donate to the mosque. Meanwhile, you will go to churches and hear doctrines like this. If you have that last 50 naira, bring it and God can bless you. Your condition warrants illusion. Your life is a game of Russian roulette and your condition warrants illusion. That illusion that they are giving you, you deserve it. Because the Bible has never endorsed poor people. And then somebody quickly go and bring out the story I will read it. I didn't plan to use it today, but I will use it. Go with me. To the book of Luke chapter 21, I'm reading from verse 1. I'm going to do this very quickly because this is where they now come and base the widow gave her last mite. Let me teach you what really happened. Luke chapter 21 and verse 1. While Yahushua was in the temple, he watched the rich people dropping their gifts in a collection box. Then a poor widow came by and dropped 2 small coins. I tell you the truth, Yahushua said, this poor widow has given more than all of them, for they have given a tiny part of their surplus, but the poor widow, poor as she is, has given everything she has. He wasn't encouraging you to do it. He was emphasizing on the need for sacrifice. And let's continue so you understand better. Some of the disciples began talking about the majestic stonework of the temple and the memorial decorations on the wall, but Yahushua said, the time is coming when all these things will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of the other. Any religion that requires poor people to come and give their last mite cannot last. Their buildings will be brought down. No stone will be left on top of the other. Do not worry about the Nigerian buildings. They will not be brought down. They will return to nightclubs because God is going to humor them. You see, when they are brought down, when they are brought down, then nobody will remember where they were before. When they are remaining, and Davido is going to perform there with Meek Mill, and they are going to be popping champagne inside, then people would realize, and their descendants after them would realize that their parents who left those monumental wastes did nothing for the country or for the body of Christ. This is why they hate me. Somebody said they even underpaid their pastors. Hello. Let me go back to my message. You guys should not distract me. Still on 2 Corinthians chapter 8, I'm emphasizing this because at any point where you join, you need to hear this. Whatever you give is acceptable only if you give eagerly. And give according to what you have, not what you don't have. Don't sell your car to sow a seed. That's foolishness. The Bible has warned you against it. Of course, I don't mean giving should make life easy for others and hard for yourselves. I only mean that there should be some equity, equality. Right now you have plenty. Help those who are in need. Later they will have plenty and they can share with you when you need it. In this way, things will be equal, as the scriptures say. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. The giving in the scriptures was not dashing a rich pastor, it was sharing to the point where poverty was eliminated. Acts chapter 2, Acts chapter 4, 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Do you think they like this message I'm preaching? Let's also look at the instance where Paul, or Apostle Saul, as I like to call him, because there was no time when Saul became Paul. That's part of the nonsense they teach you. His name, as go and read Acts chapter 13. He's Saul, who was also known as Paul. They were both his names from when he was born until he decided to go to become the apostle to the Gentiles, and he was using his Gentile name that he had from when he was born. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, I'm reading from verse 20. When you meet together, you're not really interested in the Lord's Supper. For some of you hurry to eat your own meal without sharing with others. Once again, sharing. As a result, some go hungry while others get drunken. The scripture, in the Greek word used in the scripture was methi, from methylated spirit, the alcohol. But we're not talking about whether they used to drink in the church those days or not, because they clearly used to. And Paul went on to say, what? Don't you have your own homes for eating and drinking? Or do you really want to disgrace God's church? All the eating and drinking was done in the church. And shame the poor? You are not interested in the Lord's Supper. You hurriedly eat your own meal and drink your own alcohol, and then you get drunk, and then some don't have anything to eat. This is Nigeria in one Bible verse. Some are drunken on the oil of this country. Some are drunken on the resources of this nation. Some are drunken on the taxes and everything they can generate in this nation. Meanwhile, they are surrounded by the poor. And this also defines the Nigerian church. The pastors and politicians arrive in their bulletproof jeeps with their bodyguards, while some people have to borrow money to enter Marwa to go to that same church. And you think that's Christianity we're preaching? We're fooling ourselves. Our condition requires an illusion. Go with me to the book of Matthew chapter 14. I'm beginning to end just in case you're getting bored, because I could preach this for a week. The only thing that will tire me is sleep. Go with me, Joe. Where are you going? You're not tired. Oh, yeah, open your Bible, Matthew chapter 14. Reading from verse 15. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place. It's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages to buy food for themselves." But Yahushua said, "This is not necessary. You feed them." Nigerian pastors, disciples of Christ, feed them. But we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. They came up with excuses. Yahushua answered, "Bring them here." Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. He took the 5 loaves and 2 fishes, looked upwards to heaven and blessed them. Then breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave bread to the disciples, who distributed it to the people. They ate as much as they wanted. And afterwards, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to the women and children. They didn't count the women and children. The 5,000 men were fed. God bless you, Jigger Collins, my brother. I see you. I see you, brother. I see you. This did not happen once. It happened again in the book of Matthew chapter 15. I'm reading from verse 32. Then Yahushua called his disciples and told them, "I feel sorry for these people." He feels sorry for the people. "They have been here with me for 3 days and have nothing left to eat. I don't want to send them away hungry, or they might faint along the way." He was worried that they don't have anything and they could faint if they were going back. Does your pastor worry if you don't have what to eat or where you go back to in the house? Then the disciples replied, "Where will we get enough food here in the wilderness for such a large crowd?" And once again, Yahushua said, "How much bread do you have left?" They replied, 7 loaves and a few small fishes. So Yahushua told the people to sit on the ground. He took the loaves of fish, thanked God for them, broke them into pieces, and gave them to the disciples, who distributed the food to the crowd. They ate as much as they wanted. Afterwards, the disciples picked up 7 large baskets of leftover food. There are 4,000 men who were fed that day, in addition to all the women and the children. Then Yahushua sent the people home, and he got into a boat and crossed over to the region of Magadan. He didn't send them home hungry. He didn't send them home empty. He fed them. He nursed them. First time he fed 5,000 men, which is possibly 50,000 people, or 40,000 people, or 25 or 12,000 people, because the women and the children were not counted. Yet there were leftover baskets. The second time he fed 4,000 people. He nourished their spirits, nourished their souls, built up their faith, and still fed their bellies. In Nigeria, the illusions, our conditions that warrant illusions, require you that don't have to feed the already haves. And I'll take you back again to my memory verse of today, as my children would like to say. There's no memory verse. Memory verse of today, 2 Corinthians chapter 8. And I read it from verse 12. Whatever you have is acceptable if you give eagerly. and you give according to what you have, not what you don't have. And giving is not supposed to make life easy for others and hard for yourself. You give not willingly, out of coercion. Somebody is sick, or somebody's child is sick, and a pastor tells you to sow a seed of faith so your child can be sick. Meanwhile, your money or hospital is not complete. Tell your mom that I'm ready for... Babes,
Yes.
are you ready for the phone call for the children?
No, this was for children.
Because I'm rounding off right now. We have 2 children in school that we've been taking care of for about 2 years now, right? 2 years plus. 2 little street boys that had no home. They were living with one of ours called, what's that girl's name? Perpetual. Thank you very much. So Perpetual, waiting for Perpetual to call so we can discuss what they need, because I hear one of them's rent is due, and then the other one had to drop out of school or something because we couldn't tidy up stuff, and we're waiting for paperwork from the school and all that so we can sort it out. I'm going to let you know, we've been doing this for 2 years. We've been taking care of these children for 2 years. We also have those 2 blind boys in the university that we've been paying their fees. Of course, we take care of our members. We support our members with rent money, sometimes money for investment. Sometimes we just generally reach out to all of the close-knit family and take care of all of them. I will never... She's calling. Okay.
2 times school fees for each of them.
Okay, I wish you could be here to talk to her. Okay, they're coming on video. Unfortunately, yes, Perpetua, how are you? Okay, let me show the people. This is Perpetua. Can we see the boys? I can't see them. It's only you I can see. Perpetual, let their face enter this. Okay, that is Chinedu Abi.
Yes, Chinedu.
Okay, and then Stephen. They are looking so healthy. They are looking so fine.
Sir?
I said they are looking so healthy and they are looking so fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the issue right now?
Okay, the problem now is about their school.
Okay,
They've not been going, Stephen especially has not been going to school since last term.
Stephen has not been going to school since last time. What happened?
Yes. Because of the school fees.
Okay, how much is his school fees?
I can't really talk how much it is. I sent the principal's number to your wife to call them.
Okay, babes, have you called the principal?
Yeah.
Okay, so how much are we looking at?
I think the total of everything should be around 200,000.
Around 100
200.
for the 2 boys.
Last term.
Okay, Taste Buds is going to come and address it. Sorry.
Okay.
Hello, Perpetual. How are you doing? It's good to see you, and once again, thank you for the fantastic job you're doing with Chinedu and Stephen. So, like you know, the last time we paid, I spoke with the principal of both Chinedu and Stephen, and they gave me the bill for their fees, right? So, this time around, I was made to understand that they haven't paid for 2 terms. So, we're also going to look at their fees for the 2 terms and some of the books they were supposed to have bought that they haven't purchased. And then as a church, we'll try to see if there's anything we can add for their feeding and their upkeep. Like you were telling me, Stephen was having issues with his accommodation, right? Where he was staying.
That's Chinedu.
Yes, Chinedu. So we are going to try to see what we can do by raising the fees for the 2 terms for both Chinedu and Stephen. And from my calculation, how are you? Why are you hiding behind Perpetua? How are you doing?
Bye, ma.
Let them see their faces.
We want to see your faces. We've not seen your faces in a while.
Okay.
So it's been difficult raising their fees for the past 2 terms. The last one we paid, I and Daddy Freeze, we just had to rally around to see how we could scrape some money to pay the other term fees. So now it has accumulated to 2 terms plus books and feeding. We want to see what we can do for them as a church. If we're going to go by their school fee alone, from what I heard from the principal, for Marvis Leeds College, that's the one Chinedu is attending, is 65,000 for 2 terms, right? So each term is 65. So 2 terms are going to have about 130 for Chinedu. So for Stephen, for his own school fees, we're also going to be having 2 terms, right?
Yes.
So for 2 terms for Stephen, Chinedu, we've agreed at 130 for 2 terms. And then whatever the church can raise to add for books or for feeding, we'll see what the church can do to assist. So we're looking at 130 for Chinedu, and for Stephen, we're looking at 2 terms for at the price of, I think that's 70,000 for 2 terms for Stephen at 35. Am I right?
Okay, is that inclusive of their uniforms? You know, last term is the first term, and they entered the senior class. They need new uniforms.
Okay, we are not aware of the uniforms. What I compiled here in our book is school fees. So it's good you're raising the uniforms part. So if as a church we can help them with school fee of 70,000 and 130,000, that brings it to 130 plus 70, 200 for their fees, and then whatever we can raise for their uniforms, their feeding. Perpetual is the one helping with the feeding and trying to sort out their accommodation. So it's not easy on her, and I actually applaud her dedication to this cause. We've been doing this for a while. This is not the first time we're raising fees for Chinedu. We've been doing it for some years. So we don't want to stop halfway. We want to complete it. We want the Free Nation Church to be able to say we saw them through secondary school, or we saw them through the completion of universities. We want to do something that is complete, something that is whole. We don't want to start something like, I see them like a project, a Free Nation project. We don't want to start it and just end it haphazardly. We want to bring it to fruition. We want those children to have a foundation, and we can't do it alone. That's why we're coming to you as a church. So whatever it is that God places in your heart to do for these 2 young men, please, we would appreciate it if you can come up and help in educating those 2 young men. We're not just looking for their school fee, we're looking for money for their uniforms, we're looking for money for their upkeep. So please, whatever the Lord places in your heart to do for these 2 young men, kindly assist us. We have the church account details that Daddy Freeze is going to read out. So if you have anything at all that you can send to us to assist these 2 young men, we'll be very, very grateful. So we're looking at raising up to 300,000 naira. If we can raise up to 300,000 naira, we will be grateful. This will take care of 2 term school fees. It will take care of their uniforms. It will take care of their feeding, and whatever it is we can use to assist Perpetual in taking care of these 2 young men. So please, thank you so much. I know as a church, we will do something about this. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Daddy Freeze.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone who's been part of this dream, and also a big shout out to Perpetual. Give me my other phone, that phone that I play game on. Perpetual took care of these children even at the time when she lost her job. They were both children that didn't have homes and where to stay, and look at how healthy they are looking now. So we also need to help Perpetual too. If you can, while you're giving to Stephen and Chinedu, you can also put something small aside for Perpetual. It's not easy to raise these children. Look at them. It's not easy. We've been doing this for over 3 years.
Yes, yeah.
Here's our church account number. Please make them feel happy. Chinedu, how far?
Fine, sir.
Stephen, you don't tell. How are you doing?
Fine, sir.
Okay. Here is our church account. It is called the Free the Sheeple. Sorry, 1 second. Free the Sheeple Ministries, Zenith Bank. Please help me put this up. 101 642 6338. 101 642 6338. Please put it up on Facebook for me, put it up on Instagram for me. YouTube people, please help out. Let us not run away. We don't collect offering. The last time we raised anything on this altar was about a month plus ago, if not nearly 2 months ago. No, that was about 3 months ago, at the beginning of the year, or about 2 months ago. So please assist with them. Thank you. 101 642 6338.
They can send messages to.
Okay, Free the Sheeple Ministry, 101 642 6338. Thank you so much, Esther Morui. All right, God bless you. Free the Sheeple, Zenith Bank, 101 642 6338. Thank you so much for those who, Dimeji, thank you for putting it up on YouTube.
You can send a message to the WhatsApp line, Free Nation Admin.
Okay, here's the Free Nation Admin WhatsApp.
If they make payments, they can send us their receipts.
Free Nation Admin. So you send receipts there, so we know. Okay. Plus 234. This is the Free Nation WhatsApp account. Admin. Plus 234 805 1833651. Plus 234 805 1833651. So if you've sent anything to the Zenith Bank account, 101 642 6338, please remember to send a WhatsApp message to the admin number so you can say what your money is for. If you want to give it to Perpetual, you want to give it to the boys, or you just want to donate to all three of them so we can compile. And when we come back next week, I hope that by then we have sorted all this and we can hand over something substantial to Perpetual so the boys can go back to school. So once again, yes, the money, okay. Tazeba is saying we're even paying for the school directly. It's only their welfare that we will give to Perpetual. But their school fees is going to be paid directly to the school from the Free Nation account, because Tastebuds is in contact with the principal of the school. So this should be sorted. I don't want these boys to not go to school on Monday. I don't want, tomorrow is Monday. I don't want these boys to not go to school. Please. So once again, 101 642 6338, Zenith Bank, Free the Sheeple Ministries. Let us end the service with a prayer. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. At a point, we had nearly 200 on Facebook, about 250 on YouTube, and about 150 on Instagram. That's almost 600 people in attendance today. So I thank you all, and let us end with a prayer. Father, I thank you for the gift of this day. I thank you for your word that is upon our lips. I thank you for your mercy, your forgiveness. I thank you for your love. I thank you for the wisdom that you're pouring onto this generation, and I thank you for making the generation receptive of this wisdom. Father, guide and guard us. Help us navigate out of our conditions that continuously require illusions. Let us be able to achieve an illusionless condition that is based in reality and in your word and understanding of Christianity. I ask that you provide for us. I ask that you protect us. Father, I ask for continuous revelation, and I ask for growth and love amongst us all. In Yahushua's name I pray. Thank you so much, everyone. May Yahweh bless you. Take care. Perpetua, Stephen, Chinedu. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Taste buds, thank you so much. Wonderful job you've done coordinating that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All of you. Someone said, thank you, all of you. May your condition not require illusions in Yahushua's name. Post that. Send it. Let people hear it. And share this message on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. Tweet it. Let people get to hear the real truth that is backed up by the scriptures. When Saul was preaching, he used the scriptures. When Christ was preaching, he used the scriptures. When your pastors are preaching, they use their delusions and illusions, and then they continue to fool you. You need to wake out of that. May Yahweh bless you all. You don't need a sentimental or emotional worship. A foolish faith, as James chapter 2 clearly describes, a foolish faith is what many of you have. We need to depart from foolish faith. We need to depart from conditions that warrant illusions. And we cannot do that if we continue to submit to sentiments and emotions. May Yahweh bless you all. Join our website. It is freenationchurch.org. That's our website, freenationchurch.org. All the information you need is there. Taste Buds is also going to update this charity there so you can see all about it. And for those of you who want to share generously with us for Chinedu, Stephen, and Perpetual, the account is Zenith Bank 101 642 6338. 101 642 6338. Free the Sheeple Ministry, Zenith Bank. God bless you.